Okay, welcome everyone to the True Alien Podcast.
Hello there.
Get ready, because today on our paranormal probe, we're diving into a real head-scratcher. November 1990.
Ah, yes. France and Montreal. Big ones.
Exactly. We're talking massive, unexplained aerial objects just hanging out.
Yeah.
Not your usual blurry lights.
No, definitely not. The scale was something else.
So our mission for this paranormal probe, dig into the eyewitness accounts, look at the interesting official responses or non-responses.
Right, and try to piece together what actually happened and what questions are still, hanging in the air.
Because there are plenty of questions. What's really striking is the timing, isn't it? Two huge events, 2 days apart.
In allied countries, no less. France and Canada. It certainly makes you lean away from pure coincidence, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, let's start in France. November 5th, 1990. Around 7 p.m. local time.
And suddenly, authorities are just swamped. Reports flooding in from all over Brittany, the Riviera.
Yeah, people are seeing this thing.
Yeah.
Massive, dark, usually described as triangular or maybe boomerang-shaped.
And the key thing everyone mentioned, it was moving slowly and silently.
Completely silent. Which, when you think about the reported size,
Yeah.
how does that even work?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, anything that big based on our tech should be making a racket. Propulsion noise, air displacement, something.
Right. Silence suggests, well, something very different. Advanced propulsion. Something non-aerodynamic.
Exactly. It pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible with flight.
And the descriptions, they were just wild. Witnesses were saying things like, well, excuse the language, but fucking huge.
That seems to be the consensus.
One compared it to a football field flying over your croissant. Huge. I love that. Another called it a flying village.
Flying village. That really paints a picture of the scale we're talking about.
And it wasn't just a dark shape. People saw bright lights, usually at the corners, sometimes a red one in the middle, structured.
Which again moves it away from, say, a meteor or natural phenomenon. It sounds like a craft, a manufactured object.
So what was the official story? At first, anyway.
The initial explanation. It was debris from a Soviet rocket, Cosmos 2082, burning up on re-entry.
Okay. Space junk.
Yeah.
Makes sense sometimes, right? But
it didn't really fit. Not this time. Thousands of witnesses describing a slow, silent, structured triangle. That's not burning space junk.
how so? What was wrong with that explanation?
Well, for one, the trajectory and the timing reported by the witnesses didn't really match the predicted path of Cosmos 2082's debris.
Okay, so the path was wrong.
And the descriptions themselves. Flaming, tumbling debris looks very different from a solid, dark triangle with steady lights moving deliberately. They just don't match up.
And this leads us to GEIPAN, right?
Yeah.
The French government's UAP group.
Yes, the Groupe d'études et d'information sur les phénomènes aérospatiaux non identifiés. They initially sort of went along with the rocket debris idea, or at least didn't strongly contest it publicly.
man.
But then, later on, things got interesting. They quietly admitted that actually a large number of the sightings, especially those describing the huge triangles, couldn't be explained by the rocket. They remained unexplained.
So a backtrack. First, it's just a rocket. Then, actually, we don't know what those triangle things were.
Pretty much, which definitely raises eyebrows. Was it a quick attempt to calm people down? Did they genuinely not know at first? Or something else?
That initial quick dismissal followed by the quiet walk back, it kind of smells a bit fishy, doesn't it? That shady shit level, as we sometimes say.
It certainly fuels speculation about transparency and what officials might know or not know.
Okay, hold that thought. Because just 2 days later, November 7th, the weirdness jumps the Atlantic. Montreal, Canada.
Right. Around 7:22 p.m. local time, the setting. The Hotel Place Bonaventure, specifically the rooftop pool area.
Imagine that. You're having a swim, look up, and there's something.
And this something apparently stuck around. Witnesses reported seeing another massive object, this one described more often as metallic-looking, hovering right over the hotel.
Hovering? For how long?
For nearly 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay, that completely rules out.
Yeah.
Well, most conventional things.
Yeah.
Weather balloons, aircraft in distress.
Absolutely. 3 hours stationary or moving incredibly slowly implies controlled flight, defying gravity somehow, and a deliberate presence. It wasn't just passing through.
What did this one look like? Was it another triangle?
The descriptions varied a bit more here. Many said round or oval. Some mentioned a flattened cone shape or saw angular parts. But the core elements were similar to France.
Which were?
Huge scale, total silence, and very slow movement or hovering. plus distinct bright lights. This time, witnesses mentioned yellow, blue, and amber lights.
And some people saw beams of light coming down.
Yes, that was reported. But oddly, the beams apparently didn't reach the ground. They just sort of stopped midair.
Okay, that's bizarre. Light doesn't usually do that.
No, it doesn't. It suggests some kind of focused energy or projection that wasn't simple illumination. Very strange detail.
Who saw this thing in Montreal? Just the swimmers?
Oh no. Hotel guests, hotel employees, people out on the street below, and significantly, police officers. Police confirmed seeing something up there they couldn't explain.
Police corroboration. That adds weight.
Definitely. These aren't easily dismissed accounts when you have multiple officers observing the same unexplained phenomenon for an extended period.
Oh, there was a conflicting report, wasn't there? A pilot.
Yes, that's another wrinkle. A pilot flying in the vicinity apparently reported seeing nothing unusual.
Huh. How does that work? Everyone on the ground sees it for hours, but a plane nearby doesn't.
It's puzzling. Could be altitude. Maybe the object was lower than the aircraft, or specific angles, maybe some kind of atmospheric distortion. Or perhaps the object was somehow hidden from that specific viewpoint.
Sloking, maybe? Or just weird angles?
It adds another layer of mystery. It complicates the picture.
So with all these witnesses, police included, seeing this thing for 3 hours,
Right.
what was the official Canadian explanation?
Crickets.
Seriously, nothing.
Radio silence. No statement about rocket debris this time. No talk of experimental blimps or weather phenomena. Just nothing.
Wow. A 3-hour major sighting over a city, confirmed by police, and the official response is literally zero.
That's the report, which you could argue is almost stranger than the flawed explanation given in France.
It feels more like a deliberate, we're not touching this stance, doesn't it? The shady shit level feels higher here. Maybe a cover-up.
The lack of any official comment on such a well-witnessed, long-duration event certainly invites that kind of speculation. It feels less like incompetence and more like avoidance.
Okay, let's connect the dots. This is the spicy part. Wait.
This is where it gets really interesting.
France, November 5th. Montreal, November 7th. 2 days apart. Major sightings. Allied nations. Coincidence.
Yeah. The odds seem slim for two such significant, comparable events happening so close together purely by chance. The similarities, size, silence, lights, slow movement, push towards a possible connection.
Even though the shapes weren't identical, France mostly triangles, Montreal more varied but sometimes angular.
Right. But think about our own aircraft. We have planes, helicopters, drones, different shapes for different purposes, but all based on related technology. Could it be something similar? Different configurations of the same underlying tech.
So maybe the triangle was one model, the Montreal object another? Or maybe the Montreal one could change shape.
It's possible. Some witnesses did report angular features or V-shapes of light in Montreal, blurring the lines a little. The core similarities are perhaps more important than the exact silhouette.
So what was the point? If they're connected, if it wasn't coincidence, was this some kind of show, like atmospheric theater?
Were the testing reactions, maybe mapping flight paths over key areas, or could it simply be that whatever concealment they usually use failed? Brief moments of visibility.
Like glitches in the cloaking device.
Potentially. Or maybe they wanted to be seen, for reasons we can only guess at. Observation. A subtle warning. We just don't know.
Okay, let's pull out some key takeaways from all this strangeness.
Yeah.
Lesson 1.
The size and the silence. That combination just screams advanced physics. Something beyond our public understanding of propulsion and aerodynamics.
Lesson 2. Montreal. 3 hours. Just there. That feels deliberate, doesn't it? Like observation, or maybe even intimidation.
Or even technical difficulties on their part. We assume competence, but maybe they were stuck. Although 3 hours is a long time to be stuck silently, observation seems more plausible.
Okay, and lesson 3.
Official explanations, especially the initial quick ones, take them with a grain of salt. The Soviet rocket story shows how easily a convenient, dismissive answer can be put out there, even if it doesn't fit the facts.
Always question the narrative.
Pause.
Got it. All right, alien life hack time for our listeners in this paranormal probe. Number 1.
If you see something like this huge, silent, weird lights, document everything. Phone video is great, obviously. Multiple angles if you can.
Get audio too, even if it's silent. Note the time, how long you saw it, your exact location. Details matter.
Absolutely. The more data, the better the chance of analysis later.
Alien life hack number 2.
Just because it's big and quiet doesn't mean it's friendly. Don't assume benevolent intent.
Caution first. Good advice.
It's unknown technology, potentially with unknown capabilities and motives. Prudence is key.
And our final survival tip, related to those weird light beams in Montreal.
Yeah, if beams of light start coming down from a massive silent object, maybe don't stand directly underneath them.
Right. Avoid the potential for, shall we say, unscheduled examinations. Just stay inside. Lock the door.
Treat unknown energy emissions with extreme caution. Definitely.
Okay, cosmic cheat sheet time. Let's recap the key terms for this paranormal probe.
The French UFO Wave, November 5th, 1990. Thousands saw huge triangles. Initial explanation: Soviet rocket, later retracted by GEIPAN for many sightings.
The Place Bonaventure object, November 7th, 1990. Huge silent object over Montreal Hotel for 3 hours. Official explanation: none. Zilch.
GEIPAN, the official French agency that studies UAPs, notable here for their backtrack on the rocket theory.
Black triangle boomerang, UFOs. The category these sightings often fall into. Think the Belgian UFO wave, Hudson Valley, Phoenix Lights. It's a recurring theme.
Official explanation, often shorthand for an initial dismissal or a cover story that doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
Witness, quote, gold. France. Immense, like a flying village. Totally silent. Montreal wasn't moving fast. It was just there.
Yeah.
Huge and made no sound. Chilling.
Really captures the awe and mystery, doesn't it?
Alien encounter rule, #1. Don't assume origin. Could be ours, could be theirs.
And remember that leaked UK report, Project Condign? It actually acknowledged large, black, triangular UAPs exist and possess novel military capabilities. Whose capabilities? That's the kicker.
Big question mark there. Okay, let's picture the scene again. Eyewitness drama. Grants. Phone lines melting down. Police getting frantic calls. People just standing in the street staring up. Chaos.
Imagine the collective, spreading across the country.
Then Montreal. People swimming, hotel staff pointing, cops on the scene looking up, confirming it's real but having no idea what it is. And it just stays for 3 hours. The prolonged bewilderment.
That duration adds a unique psychological element. It moves beyond a fleeting sighting into something undeniable and present.
You can almost hear the police radio chatter, right? The confusion, the lack of answers from dispatch. Yeah, we see it too. We don't know what it is.
Exactly. That raw uncertainty from official channels speaks volumes.
All right, brain candy and WTF UFO trivia time for this paranormal probe.
Lay it on us.
The Belgian connection. That massive wave happened just before this, right? Same kind of triangles, even F-16 scrambled. Are these events linked?
The similarities are undeniable. Same time frame, roughly. Same object descriptions. It strongly suggests a connection. Perhaps the same craft or technology operating over Europe.
GEIPAN's red face having to walk back that rocket explanation must have been embarrassing.
It certainly damaged their credibility at the time and highlighted the difficulty in explaining these phenomena conventionally.
And the Montreal Mystery Machine? Why the total silence? Was it Canadian politeness or something more? Secret tech they couldn't talk about? Orders from elsewhere?
That silence is one of the most intriguing aspects. It hints at something officials either couldn't or wouldn't explain.
Which brings us to the TR-3B rumors. The alleged secret U.S. anti-gravity triangle craft. The descriptions fit pretty well, don't they?
They do align remarkably well with the Black Triangle reports, including size and silence. But is the TR-3B real? Or is it disinformation designed to cover up something even stranger?
Or maybe cover up that the tech isn't ours, always layers to the onion.
Precisely. It remains a persistent but unverified part of the UFO lore.
So how does this paranormal probe feed into the bigger picture, the grand conspiracy, if you like?
Well, pattern recognition is key. We're seeing these large, silent, structured craft, often triangular, reported globally for decades. It's not just isolated incidents.
So it suggests a consistent presence of something.
Yes. And that leads to the government complicity or incompetence question. Either governments don't know what these are, which is frankly terrifying from a national security standpoint.
Right. Huge, silent things, cruising unchallenged, not good.
Or they do know, at least partly, and they're actively covering it up, which raises a whole host of other questions about secrecy and control.
And the advanced tech question. Is this ours some super secret black project breakthrough? Or is it definitively not ours, meaning non-human?
That's the fundamental dilemma. Either answer has massive implications. Extreme secrecy around human tech, or confirmation of non-human intelligence.
Could these 1990 events have been some kind of test, like a pre-internet panic test? See how the public and authorities react without instant global communication.
It's a plausible hypothesis, especially given the timing just as the Cold War was ending. Testing reactions, observing information flow. It fits a certain strategic logic.
And all this connects directly to today's UAP discussions, right? The hearings, the pilot reports. This isn't a new phenomenon that just started.
Absolutely. Cases like France and Montreal in 1990 provide crucial historical context. They show this has been happening consistently and dramatically for a long time before it became mainstream news.
Time for some mic drop moments from this paranormal probe. How about November 1990? France and Montreal got a silent giant visitor. The official explanations. About as convincing as a screen door on a submarine.
Nice. Captures the inadequacy perfectly.
Or forget little green men. These were big, dark, and apparently ran on stealth mode cranked to 11.
Highlights the key characteristics: scale, appearance, silence.
And for Montreal. Montreal's UFO was like, hey, we're just going to hang out here for 3 hours. No biggie. Try doing that with a 747.
Emphasizes the impossible duration and stillness. Good ones.
Let's quickly recap the witness testimonies for this paranormal probe. France. Composite descriptions point to silent, immense, often triangular shapes, moving slowly, deliberately, like a dark cloud with lights.
The consistency across hundreds, maybe thousands, of witnesses is powerful.
Montreal. Reports highlight patterns of bright lights, yellow, blue, amber, a sometimes metallic look, vast size confirmed by police, the incredible 3-hour duration, those weird light beams, and the distinct feeling of being watched.
That feeling of observation adds a chilling psychological dimension to the Montreal event.
And the uncovered facts things they maybe hoped we'd forget. 1. The sheer scale of the French wave, not just a few reports.
Unignorable numbers. 2. The duration of the Montreal sighting. 3 hours is hard to explain away.
3. GEIPAN's specific retraction saying the descriptions didn't fit the rocket theory for many sightings.
A crucial admission. 4. Lack of debris found in France, inconsistent with a decaying satellite.
5. Police corroboration in Montreal. Credible, trained observers confirming the anomaly.
These points collectively build a strong case that something truly unusual occurred.
Quick trivia and Easter eggs for the real enthusiasts listening to this paranormal probe. Context. The Cold War was basically over. New World Order emerging. Does that timing mean anything?
Some speculate shifts in global power dynamics might relate to displays of unknown technology, but it's purely speculative.
Pop culture. The X-Files premiered a few years later. You gotta think events like these fueled the public's interest and maybe the writers' ideas.
Undoubtedly. These real-life mysteries certainly influenced fiction exploring similar themes.
The brutalist beacon theory. Place Bonaventure as this massive, imposing concrete structure. Did its architecture somehow attract the object? Probably not, but it's a fun thought.
Unlikely to be a primary factor, but location is always interesting. And the numerical weirdness. November 5th, November 7th. Any patterns?
Probably just coincidence, but you know how patterns grab people in this field?
Okay.
Legacy. Why do we still care about this paranormal probe?
Well, these events really helped legitimize the triangle UFO as a specific, recurring type in the public consciousness and among researchers.
Made it a thing. What else?
They definitely fueled government distrust. The inadequate explanations in France and the silence in Montreal made people suspicious.
Yeah, didn't help build confidence.
And as we said, they set the stage for modern disclosure efforts. They provide historical weight, showing this isn't just a recent blip.
And fundamentally, they remain enduring mysteries. We still don't have definitive conventional answers.
That's why we're still talking about them. The questions persist.
Okay, alternate takes and theories for this paranormal probe. Let's do the boring zone first.
Okay. Theory 1. Secret military tech. Maybe the US's TR-3B or something similar from France or another nation. Plausible, but raises questions about why display it so openly, especially over foreign allied cities. And the silence is still hard to explain, even for secret tech.
Theory 2. Mass misidentification plus hysteria. Maybe people saw planes, stars, meteors, and got carried away.
Possible for some scattered reports, maybe, but for thousands in France describing the same specific thing. And a 3-hour stable object seen by police in Montreal. Hysteria doesn't really cover the detailed consistency or duration well.
Theory 3. Rare atmospheric plasma or electrical phenomenon. Ball lightning writ large.
Some plasma phenomena can look strange, but creating a massive, structured, silent triangle or a hovering disk with beams for 3 hours, that pushes known atmospheric physics beyond breaking point. Doesn't really fit the descriptions well.
All right, let's dive into the deep end theories.
Okay. Theory 4. Genuine extraterrestrial craft. The classic explanation. Fits the advanced tech descriptions, but zero proof of origin, of course.
Theory 5. Interdimensional bleed-through. Something from another reality momentarily phasing into ours.
Super speculative. Explains the weirdness, but offers no testable mechanism. Why these shapes? Why these locations?
Theory 6. breakaway civilization tech. Humans living secretly, underground, off-world, with super advanced tech developed over decades.
Another fringe idea, intriguing, but again, entirely speculative with no solid evidence.
Theory 7. Psychological operation, PSYOP. A government testing public reaction using holographic tech or advanced projectors.
Possible, especially for the French wave, maybe. But projecting a solid-looking object hovering silently for 3 hours in 1990. The required tech seems unlikely for that era, and the motive is unclear.
And finally, Theory 8. Time travelers observing, just popping back to watch 1990 unfold.
Fun idea, zero evidence. Highly improbable based on our understanding of physics. So, yeah, a mix from plausible but flawed to pure sci-fi.
Leaves us kind of where we started, doesn't it? With a big, fascinating question mark.
That's often the case with the most compelling UAP events. The data points towards something extraordinary, but the final answer remains elusive.
So, November 1990, France and Montreal. Whatever hovered silently in their skies, it left a mark. A reminder that maybe, just maybe, not everything fits neatly into our known world.
The lack of definitive answers shouldn't deter us from asking the questions. These events challenge us to keep looking, keep investigating, and remain open to possibilities.
Not just accept the easy answers or the official silence. Keep looking up, keep wondering.
The truth, whatever it may be, is likely stranger than we imagine.
This has been the True Alien Podcast. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and never stop questioning what's really going on up there.